you read the books along the way, there were lessons along the way, but there are certain things you can just only learn by doing, right? In my background, the sport of wrestling, you can read all the books, you can watch all the film, but unless you're doing it and living it and getting the blood on your face and the sweat and experiencing the mistakes, like you just have to do it and you have to fail, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's, like you're talking about wrestling, Jim, like I swear that there's a component in our bodies that change, in our DNA that change when we have these catastrophic failures and we fall on our face completely, where we don't know where to turn. Something changes in our DNA, or so, I don't know what it is, but I think we actually evolve physically. One of my favorite writers is Lawrence Vanderpost. I don't know if have you ever heard of him? He's a
I've
South
heard the
African
name.
writer, wonderful writer. He died a few years ago at like age 90 or something like that. And he believed that the body, the brain, the temperature of the brain had to go up somehow to sort of implant some change in it. And I've sort of watched that from time to time in myself, and I find that I do have moments where in the middle of some big change, I'll get sick. I'll be in bed for 3 days, and I sort of cheer myself up by saying, this must be the change happening. This is something going on. So I do think, like you say, you got to really fail on the physical level as well as just reading about something like that.
There's a real physical response to failure, and there's a real physical response to learning. I remember I got my master's degree in teaching, and I remember one of our professors telling me that there's an actual physical change in your brain when you learn something, an actual physical change that can't be undone whenever you learn something. And then there's the other part of learning that I mostly learned this through sports, through wrestling, is that you learn most through failure. Like you don't learn through winning. Like if something just comes to you easily, or if you're competing against lesser competition, you just don't you don't learn. It feels good. It feels great. We all like to learn. We all like to be good at what we do. The listener, you like to be good at your job. You like everything to be smooth. You want to show up and win every day at work, make every sale. You're not going to become that next level of you without the failure. So the failure and then the learning that comes from failure makes that physical change. And that was part of the process that you certainly just talked about in terms of the physically getting ill, but also this decades long process that got you from oil field worker, taxi cab driver, struggling, to one of the most recognized writers in the United States, in the world.
Well, the other thing about it, Jim, as you well know, is when this physical failure comes, there's a tremendous amount of pain with it. Not just physical pain, but emotional, psychological pain, which is a lot of the reason why people don't want to kind of undergo passages like this and don't want to pay the price. Those who do pay it have to be driven by some crazed aspiration or something. I certainly feel like I was. You do want to avoid those horrible, painful moments, but those are the moments that you grow. Sometimes watching, say, something like the World Series for me, or the Super Bowl just recently, and you look at the winners are out there on the field and the confetti is falling and they're doing their snowman on the field. And then they cut to the losers, right? And sometimes it's just a solitary guy sitting on a bench with his towel and his face down, or people will be in tears in the dugout, the losing team and a lot of times I think to myself, I envy those guys, because you can see that they're changing in that moment. And a lot of times a coach will say to a team that lost, say the World Series last year, remember what that felt like. Burn that into your brain, because you don't want to ever feel that again. So next year, when we come back, we're going to give that little more that we didn't think we had to give this time. So I do think that, you see a guy crying in the dugout, a losing team in the World Series, and the guy's, is obviously in agony, but you can see he's changing in that moment.
If you like this video, hit the like button below. But also, what was helpful? What wasn't helpful? What questions do you have? I'll reply to every comment below. And if you actually want to get all of the notes, all of the quotes, all of the links, all of the action items from this entire episode, go to jimharshawjr.com/action and you can download the free PDF action plan. It'll give you all the notes, quotes, links, everything from the entire episode. You'll also get access to all of the action plans from all of my episodes of the Success Through Failure podcast. And if you want to learn how you can actually apply this learning to your life, figure out how you can start getting results now, you can actually sign up for a free one-time coaching call with me. Just go to jimharshawjr.com/apply. That's jimharshawjr.com/apply. It's a very quick, short application process. Find a time on my calendar, fill out the questionnaire, and you and I will have a conversation about how you can start getting results in your life by applying what you've learned. I look forward to talking to you.